So I'm in the middle of getting this 83 BMW R80 RT back on the road, and one of the main issues was that this stud thread repair gone bad, needed to be redone. Whoever had repaired it previously kind of oblonged the hole here and used too short of a helicoil, and it failed at some point, and gotta fix it. It caused some other issues. There was a crack on this cylinder that I've welded up and cleaned up there. After a lot of research online, trying to find someone who would rent a repair jig, I was going to make my own, and got myself a 1-inch piece of aluminum and was going to put it on the lathe in the mill and kind of drill everything out. And after checking out some forums online and a Facebook Airhead group, I talked with Jonathan, I believe, who started this company, Motorrad 3DP, and he has rented me his 3D printed jig, which we're going to try out. I had already intended to use a Big Cert, which is just an oversized thread repair, and we're gonna see how that goes. Looks like he has it set up for the Big Cert style, and then also the time certs, which I don't have any, but the time certs I believe you put in and then you kind of lock them down by hammering the flange over the outside. I did one on a spark plug thread repair a long time ago. So this is the kit, as far as I understand, that gets either bought or rented. It also has this jig for drilling out the oil galley hole that is going to need to be drilled, because once you put this in, we'll be covering it up. So I'm going to get started and see how it works, and share my results with everyone. So our order of operations here is to first put in this, I'm assuming this is 3D metal printed drill bushing, which is set up for 31/64 inch bit, which actually comes with this Big Cert kit that Jonathan also is letting me use, because that's what the kit was made for. His kit to work in conjunction with the Big Cert kit, if that's what you're using. I am just kind of feeling the tolerance here on this guy, and there's a little bit of play, and I am assuming that's okay. We don't want it too tight. I already had my stuff set up that I was going to use, which was going to be a 12.5 millimeter drill bit, which is just a few thousandths bigger, so I'm not going to use it with his bushing because it's too small. But so we'll use the Big Cert drill included. So once the hole is oversized, then we get our tap bushing, which these are all labeled. And in that case, I'm going to use my tap because it's the same diameter as the one included in the kit. And then the final operation is to install the Big Cert with this driver tool, also included in the kit and included in Jonathan's kit, or the 3DP Motorrad 3DP kit, is this Big Cert driver bushing. So that'll be the last guy we put in here, and set our Big Cert thread repair in. And all right, let's see how this goes. Okay, we just drilled our oversized hole. Looks pretty clean. It's a nice little guide here. I guess the difference between the 31/64 and the 12.5 millimeter is there's a little bit of, you know, if your bit grabs, the design of this jig here kind of torques it, and I can see this sort of opening up a bit. I see why it's designed this way, to get these bushings to fit really nicely and have a little sort of tension built into everything. But I do see it sort of torquing when you're drilling through. But the hole looks clean, and so I'm gonna work on getting this bushing out and starting the tap guide in. Okay, I got my M14 1.5 tap all greased up. I didn't mention earlier, but I rotated the crank so that I got plenty of room past the back of the engine case to clear any, basically not run into the counterweights on the crankshaft there. But the hole looks pretty clean. The kit came with this little counter bore. Where'd it go? This little counter bore cutter, which I just gave it by hand one little pass to clean off any ridge that might have set up on there. You can't really see it with this guide in now, but I got the tap guide in now, and we're gonna go ahead and do that with my setup here, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm using my tap, but it's sort of binding on the guide here. I got this soft clamp on there to see if I can just put a little bit of pressure on the guide to keep it from spinning. But I'm spinning in the guide and it's not letting me get enough forward pressure on the tap to start the thread. So I'm gonna take some measurements on the old tap and the one that comes with the Big Sur kit and see if there's a big difference. Okay, so I wanted to be easy on these tools that I was being loaned. So I was gonna try to use my stuff as much as I could here, but I'm getting a measurement on my tap, a little bit over 14 millimeters. And down there. And this is the Big Sur tap, which is exactly 14. So I'll swap over to the tap that was included in the Big Sur kit because, well, I asked him to provide all the tooling that he had designed it for just for this reason. Any discrepancies in like sizes and tolerances and stuff. So hopefully I'll grease this up and set it up, but yeah, already seems to be spinning a lot easier than the last one. So we'll try it with this guy. Okay, I think we got contact with the case now. Let's see if we get cuts going. Oh yeah, there it goes. Okay, feels pretty good. I'll get this tap out and we'll take a look at the threads. Before I pull this guy out, a tap driver sort of this style is probably the best way to go about this. Just hooks up to a ratchet. I usually use a T-handle, but I couldn't find it right now. But it's kind of, this ratchet's working pretty good just because I have just a limited range of motion anyway to do the turn. You can see in there I caught quite a bit of chips just by placing that towel in there. So we'll be careful about pulling them out, but like I said earlier, we got the oil pan completely off, so. All right, let me pull this guy out and look at the threads. Okay, we've got our threads cut. Gonna put some light in there. We can check it out. I don't know if that helps or not, but it's looking pretty good. One thing regarding the Big Sur, once I started looking at the installed piece itself, or the fitting here, it's got that little flange on there on the front side of it. So I figured the counter bore was to clear that so that when it's installed, it's flush with the surface. And so I didn't film it, but cut my little counter bore there. I checked it with a little depth gauge, and it's about 2 millimeters, which is equal to this edge here to clear it. So hopefully when it's installed, it should be nice and flush. So the next step is to set this guy up. This is the driver tool. And my understanding is, excuse me, when this goes in, I'll have this this tool oiled, and then the exterior threads will be have some Loctite on them. So as it goes through, we'll have the Loctite, and then this little divot here. Apparently when this tool goes through there, it'll push out here and expand that a bit, and that's supposed to help lock it in, but I don't know. First time putting one of these in. But I'll put plenty of Loctite on there, help out with the install. So I will do that now. Okay, I've got a liberal amount of Loctite on here, and the threads are oiled on the insert tool. I've got the 3DP guide in here for the tool here, and this. Let's start turning this, and so far it's just spinning in the insert. Hopefully it catches at some point and starts driving it in. Okay, there we go. Let me get the driver on here. Okay, going in pretty good. I'm assuming it's going to bottom in the counter bore, and then we'll start feeling some resistance. There we go. Okay. Now I can't see the install due to the bushing, but I can feel the resistance, which is good. We don't have a loose thread or loose cut on the threads in there. It's still driving. I'm gonna need, let's see, I got some more to go, but my tap driver is too deep, so we'll see what else I got, and I'll drive that the rest of the way. Okay, I can feel the insert tool threads on the inside of the case, and there's only a couple more turns there, and it feels like it's bottomed out, so I'll start backing it out. Excuse me. And hopefully that's the end of this installation. That's just after the install of the big cert. So yeah, we'll pull this off. I'm assuming also, you know, this little gap here is great for the putting tension on the cert, but maybe it's also for removing these bushings, but that's what I've been using it for anyway. So I'm gonna clean up our repair and all our tools and give that Loctite some time to set up. It looks like it's actually inset a little there, which might be a good thing. We'll see. I have an O-ring that's going to compress there and seal it up. So I don't know. I might have to get an oversized O-ring for that. We have one more step to drill for our oil hole there. But I'm gonna be honest, when I pulled out the old repair and even after I drilled, I did not see an oil galley up there. But I'll do some research and make sure we got one. Okay. Okay, I got a little ahead of myself. We are now set up to drill out the hole into the big cert for the oil passage. And this is the guide. It comes with the kit. And should slot in right here. And I had to pull out the lower rear stud, and the kit graciously comes with an extra nut to double nut that stud and pull it out, which actually came out a lot easier than I thought it would, so I'm gonna double check the threads down there as well. It comes with a drill bit, proper size to drill through the big cert, and I'm using my right angle to hopefully get right up in there. I kind of pre-checked it, and that tape there is to give me a stopping point so I don't drill too far into the case, but I feel like I will probably feel it break through. So and here also is, those are the plastic bolts that come with the kit. If you were to pull out all 4 studs, if you needed that kind of access for your tap handle or whatever drill you might be using that doesn't clear, those are included in the kit as well. There we go. Okay, we just caught for a second. Pull this guy out, make sure we're in good shape. No broken drill bits, that's good. Let me grease this up a little more and give it one quick little punch. Hopefully that's just the edge of the time cert we're hitting and wants to break out. That was it. Felt it go through. Okay, I'll clean all this off. I just want to feel it by hand there. Well, we're definitely through the big cert. So hopefully that got bullseyed us on the oil galley. I'll pull this all apart and take a look at it. Okay, so here's my almost finished repair while the big cert is done. And you can see the passageway drilled out there for the oil gallery. I kind of cleaned up the edges a little bit with a file, just a little jeweler's file, just so hopefully there's no issues once that O-ring is on here getting snagged and sliced up by that. But once I pulled the jig off, I wondered why that lower stud came out so easily. And I don't know if you can see it, but there's a helicoil repair there that was the same as the upper one, not long enough to actually accommodate all the threads of the stud. So I get to put this kit back together and do this all over again, because that is definitely not worth leaving that way. Let's see if I can get a more light in there. But that is the wrong way to do this. I don't know if you can tell that helicoil only goes about halfway through the repair. And I can't really tell if the helicoil was good enough for that anyway. I mean, I can feel when I double nutted this, I almost didn't even need to. I could probably just had twisted it out with just grabbing the stud. So that was going to be an issue. So glad I found it, and we won't have to do any drilling on this lower one because there's no oil passages, but I'll bring the whole kit out again and redo everything to repair these threads as well. Okay, so here's my final repair. I didn't have to stop and do any filming on this one, so it went quite a bit quicker. I did notice that when I did the first Big Cert, you know, with the jig over it, you can't really see when your tools are bottoming out. And I wasn't really sure how much tension I was gonna feel to sort of thread through that locking section of the Big Cert. So I think I bottomed it and torqued a little too hard and gave the thread a little bit of a crush there, if you can see it. I've threaded the stud in and it doesn't even seem to register. So it should be okay. There again is my oil galley hole. I'm gonna do a little bit more easing on this too, maybe also from that over tensioning of the guide tool or the insert tool. I might have flared up the edge here, so I'm gonna address that a little bit. This one I didn't do nearly as much pressure on the install, and you can see the nice sort of taper there. But I'm gonna give the Loctite some time to set up and put my new studs in, and hopefully have this top end all assembled by the end of the day. Thanks. So overall, this is the Motorrad 3DP fixture to repair stud thread damage in your BMW Airhead cases. I think he makes an adapter for the earlier size bore, I think. I'm not really sure, or it's another jig. But this was a lifesaver for me. I was gonna put a bunch of time into fabricating a one out of aluminum with my limited tooling. I have a lathe here, but I was gonna go set up on a friend's mill and all that stuff. So here's your information, by the way, on the guy who's making this, who I got in contact through a Airhead Facebook group. Just trying to see if anyone had any of these jigs for rent. I had read about them online, and could see that probably about 10 years ago or so they were available through a few different vendors to rent, but they are not available. I couldn't find anyone who had one to rent as a business. So it's a pretty common enough repair that, you know, it's worth having in your toolbox. This guy's got them for sale. My only, I guess, observations, which I'm going to relay back to him, is it does have quite a bit of flex if you are heavy-handed at all, or if your drill catches or anything like that. So you got to be really careful, you know, as you should be with any repair. But I just saw the ability for this whole jig to kind of flex quite a bit, especially with the drill jig, any of the cutting actions. If you get a wrong angle on it and you have some torque behind it, it will flex. So what I was doing was putting this little soft quick grip on there to get a little bit more tension over the bushings that would go in here and slightly close that gap. Not too much. I was trying to be real gentle with everything. Yeah, overall it's a pretty cool little kit. I tried to use my own tap and saw that there were slight differences in the measurements, so that's something to look at. If you are going to rent this or buy it, that you do want to use the Big Cert kit or measure your tools so that they're going to match the diameters that are actually listed on all those little bushings, which is cool too. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm super thankful that I was able to connect with Jonathan, and he sent this out for me to use and try out and get my customer back on the road. Funny enough that I did find that other helicoil in there that I was able to get out. But I mean, in the future, for something that's this you know, critical to the motor function, I would probably want to use this kind of thread repair in the future. So okay, I'm gonna get all my stuff back together. Thanks again, Jonathan. If you guys want to reach out, again, here's the info. And he's got some other BMW Airhead parts that he's making, or 3D printing, I should say. By the way, I didn't even consider this as an option because I'm kind of a old school guy, but it's pretty cool. So yeah, thanks again, Jonathan. Check out Motorrad 3DP if you're interested in getting this repair done on your bike. Thanks.